you guys are gonna love it. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be going over a used 2015 Range Rover Sport SVR, and in today's video we're gonna figure out if it's a good idea to go for a used Range Rover. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Harrison Imports for giving me some time with this SVR. Check out their inventory link below. Let's get straight into the video. So under the hood of the Range Rover Sport SVR, we have a supercharged 5-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 550 horsepower and then 502 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Range Rover Sport SVR. So first off, you've got your gigantic Range Rover logo right there. You've got the really cool venting here on either side. And then we've got the LED accent lights here, which even to this day still look really good. More venting just down below. We've got our SVR logo right there. Parking sensors along the front end. And yeah, overall, the front end still looks really good, still looks really modern to this day. And I mean, think about it. At this point, this car is over 6 years old. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 75mm tires on 21-inch wheels in the front and in the rear. This does also come with air suspension as well, which still works perfectly fine. And then notice we've got the Brembo brakes here in the front, blue brake calipers. They look really good. And then we've got more accenting here on the side. I love how the mirrors are black and the whole roof is black as well. But yeah, overall, again, just look at this from the side view. Still looks great, still looks modern. And yeah, that's all for the side. Now let's go over the trunk area here in the Range Rover. So first off, notice that we've got the cargo cover right here. We have a 12 volts underneath that. Rubber floor covering. There is some extra storage space under there, but it's usually easiest to pick it up with both hands. And yeah, that's everything in the back. The one thing I didn't mention is look at this. Speakers for the sound system in the back to give you a better experience. And that's all for the rear. Now let's finish things up with the back. So again, we've got the LED lights here. Now the newer ones have like the 3D LED light effect, but this still looks really good if you ask me. Parking sensors along the back. Again, more blacked out badging and everything. The exhaust tips here at the bottom. Just look at how cool those are. And yes, you guys will love the exhaust note shortly. But yeah, other than that, here's everything else for the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. So we've got leather covering everything, carbon fiber, got a bunch of speakers for the Meridian sound system. And then here are the seats in the back, which I think are my favorite part. They kind of look like bucket seats that you'd have in the front of a car. So notice you've got the really cool headrest right there, SVR logo, nice bolsters here. So even your back passengers will be held in place really well. And then notice we got some vents and carbon fiber and all that kind of stuff for the climate controls. And then you do have heated seats here for the rear. And this also does pull down as an armrest. Now you can use this as a middle seat, but you guys can see how this is set up. It's kind of best as a 2+2, but yes, you can technically fit 3 people back there very comfortably. And well, so yeah. Now here's the door panel for the front. So we've got leather all over the door panel itself. Got this carbon fiber trim down here that covers kind of a storage area. Extra storage space right there. Got your memory seat controls, and then I love the door handle. More speakers for the Meridian sound system right there. Window controls at the top. And then here are the front seats, which again look really cool. Again, they've got this bucket seat design, which yeah, just I love it. Power adjustments there on the side of the seat. You've got the pedal layout just down below. And then notice here, that's for the rear hatch. And then the steering wheel adjustment is automatically adjustable, but the adjustment's on the other side. And there's one more look before we pop in. Now here's the steering wheel in the Sport. So we've got leather all over the steering wheel, perfect leather on the side, carbon fiber. And then on the new ones where you have screens, this just has regular analog buttons, paddle shifters here on the back, and then you got the stock there for the turn signal and lights, windshield wiper stock on the other side, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here is the center. Still really nice screen, still looks like a modern gauge cluster that you can get in, well, a lot of vehicles. But anyways, we have the drive modes we can go through. So we've got our dynamic, and then notice we've got our special program off, whatever that means. And then aside from that, we've got, past one actually, grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts. And then we've got our sand mode. And then we've got our rock crawl mode. And then if we want to go back into auto, we just press the button down and it'll throw it back into auto. Now let's go over the infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. We've got the backup camera right there with the trajectory lines. It'll turn with the steering wheel, which is definitely a nice feature. Now, aside from all of that, with the rest of the infotainment system, this is the part that really dates this. It isn't the best response time. So like if I press this on the screen, notice that, well, it pops up, but it isn't like instantaneous with the response necessarily when you press stuff. So it does take a second for everything to load up, but it's still easy to use. So yeah, other than the fact it's a little bit slow to respond, it's okay. And then we do have a bunch of controls for the seats. So you do have heated seats for the front, and then also you can even control the rear seats here from the screen, which I think that's pretty cool. We've got all of our climate controls right here, and we don't have those cool clicking buttons like with the new one. Again, this is just kind of more of a traditional setup, and then that's where you pull up with the seats. And then we've got tons of carbon fiber covering everything here. A couple of cup holders, shifter for that 8-speed automatic, and then notice you can shift the gears yourself. Here's that drive mode select to go through all of the gears. That really hasn't changed. And we've got a low range, and then you've got your hill descent control right there, stability control. This is for the exhaust to open up the valve so you can make it even louder. We've got this for the air suspension as well, your auto stop start, and then that's for the parking brake. And yeah, that's kind of like that whole area. Now here's the center console. We've got leather at the top, opening it up, tons of storage space, and then yes, it also does double as a refrigerator, which I think is a nice touch. USBs and a 12-volt inside of it, and notice leather all over the whole dash. This is what opens up the glove box here, just down below. But yeah, everything's covered in leather and looks really nice. Now up top here, we've got the controls to the sunroof. It does have a full panoramic sunroof, so you've got the shade button right there, and then that's for the sunroof itself, and yeah, all black headliner. Well, now that we're done going with the interior, we are going to take it out to see how it drives, but also I just threw it in the off-road suspension standpoint, so I want to see how tall that looks. But yes, we'll be taking it out to see how it drives. So first off, let's see what she looks like. That's a pretty good amount of gap. Definitely looks higher off the ground, but let's take it out and see how it drives. Talk about visibility before we set off here in the SVR. So first off, visibility of the hood's really good. There's your visibility through both of the mirrors. Here's the rest of the rear. And let's take it out and get more exhaust noises. So we're setting off here in the SVR, and by the way, I instantly threw open the exhaust valves because, well, if you're gonna buy this, just drive it like that all the time, because that is the most exciting way to drive it. I mean, you guys heard the exhaust clip. This thing sounds amazing. The new ones just don't have the same growl because of emissions restrictions. And so, yeah, you just don't get the same, you just don't get that same burble and aggressiveness. I think the biggest one that suffered the most obviously has been the F-Type. Like, you get into a 2020 F-Type SVR and it sounds amazing, and then you get into a 2021 and it doesn't sound nearly as good. But yeah, popping it over into the S mode instantly makes it a little bit more aggressive, and we'll pop it over into the dynamic mode too, so we get like the most aggressive state here. And then you know what? Why not? Let's do manual shifts as well. First off, this really doesn't feel like an old car. And this one, I believe, has like over 50,000 miles on it. And I mean, obviously you're gonna have some wear and tear when you have a vehicle that's 50,000 miles. It doesn't matter what it is. But I mean, this has held up really well interior wise. I've obviously, just like everyone else, I've heard a bunch of stuff about Range Rovers, right? You always hear about poor reliability and everything, but like everything in the interior works great. Everything looks great. Like, I think that those things are no more. That is cool. Look at the graphic it does for the gears. That is so neat that it shows you the gears like just front and center, which gear you're in. Yes, this thing is fast. I mean, that wasn't even full throttle. And let me tell you, this thing is very quick. 550 horsepower. I feel like they underrate it sometimes because it just feels faster than that. It really does. And the thing that's nice about these supercharged engines like this is you just get all of the torque, all of the power, just like it punches so hard. Not quite like an electric vehicle, but it's pretty dang close. Just listen to the downshifts. Yeah, definitely, and the burbles you get, definitely a really good sounding SUV. I'm gonna try to get it to do some kind of crackles. Yep, you do get you get some pops out if you let off at higher RPMs, which is always fun. And it, like with the F-Type, with that, if you like feather the throttle in just the right way, then it like just pops like crazy. This does the same thing. Tons of fun. So we're gonna get our acceleration here shortly with the SVR. Oh man, this is it's just fun to drive. I'm just gonna shut up so you guys can get the... There we go. I got it to do a couple of the crazy pops. You kind of have to like feather the throttle, just like the F-Type. Yeah. That sounds so good. You know what? We're gonna do this for the channel's sake. I'm rolling down the windows. It's gonna be kind of loud, but we're gonna go through a tunnel here with the SVR. And you guys are gonna love it. Yes, that is amazing. That has gotta be one of the best, if not the best sounding SUVs you can buy. And well, let's sum things up here with the SVR. So first off, it still looks really nice and modern. Like I said, everything interior wise is held up great. Material wise, like everything still looks great, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, everything works. Like it says over 50,000 miles and everything still works fine. I mean, again, it's 2015, so it's over 6 years old. And so yeah, just the whole thing about like Range Rovers not being reliable and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. I'm starting to not really believe it, because like I keep driving used Range Rovers like this and there's no issues with them, but then also you save a ton of money because of the depreciation on Range Rovers. And so like this, you can buy for significantly less compared to a new one. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2015 Range Rover Sport SVR. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Harrison Imports for giving me some time with this Range Rover. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.